Hello friends, Jennifer Pearson here, Thistle Gypsy, with a review of the bird cards, the healing power of the bird kingdom. And I've been looking for more animal decks and healing decks both, and so this really fit the bill. So it's by Jane Torian and Joyce Van Daben. And who is who here? It'll show in the book. What's interesting in this is that the artist actually adds her own notes in the back. I don't know why they don't put them together, but she gives some information in the back about why she chose certain symbols within the cards. I'm not sure why they're not, and I think that this is an Australian deck. No, it says the Netherlands. Why do I have... Oh yes, no, South Africa. It began just after the New Year in 1999 in Cape Town, South Africa. And Joyce Van Daben is the person who actually did the images on the cards. So I'll get to the book here in a second. So you have the copyright here. And I know that bugs a lot of people, which is why I'm showing it to you. And this, does it say 2014 here? I didn't think it was that new of a deck. Yep, 2014. However, if you look at this, there's a lot of room for trimming. And it's easily trimmed with this backing. It's easily trimmed. So, for those of you, who are bothered by this, it could easily be trimmed off. Okay, so let's do a brief look. Actually, let's look at the cards first, and then I'll talk about the book. Let's look at the cards. And again, I've messed with this. I almost always mess with them before I do a review. So here we have the penguin. Let me see if I can do this a little differently. Sorry. So I can hold them more upright and get the whole image in here. So here's penguin. So I'm going to do a walkthrough here so you can see what's represented. And she has quite a bit of symbology, rainbows, that eggs, candles. So it's not just a picture of the birds. There's more to it. And images within images there. Raven, swan, sorry I'm not getting in the words here. Canary, warbler, sparrow, ostrich, plover, phoenix. Now, I actually do not like this. Not that I don't like the art, but I don't like having the mythical bird in with my regular birds, with the birds I'm likely to encounter in everyday life. Well, some of them not, because they're not in my region, but still, this doesn't work for me because it's not a fantasy deck. So I'm going to even set this over here. It's got a crow, duck, and so some of it's intuitive and some of it's not. That isn't totally intuitive to me, this boxed gray, it's like, what on earth is going on here? Flamingo. And she does incorporate some stones. Not every bird has a stone associated with it, but some of them do. This is wren. Dove. My dogs are playing, so you may hear them barking. Hawk. It's actually not, you know, hawks are so bloody, you know. They're predators, and so I saw that red and I thought, ew. I love hawks, but, you know, I do have that squeamish side of me to some extent. More as I get older, oddly enough. It's actually supposed to be garnet. It's actually supposed to be garnet. Here's turkey. Sunbird. Rooster. And so even though I have associations with these birds, I do need to actually read this guidebook. Dodo. So here's one that's extinct. And again, I'm not sure I'm going to keep this one. I'm just not sure. Not sure. Bluebird of happiness. Gannet. All kinds of wonderful stone eggs in that one. Coral. So there's quite a lot to bite into here. So well, more on some cards than on others. So we have the shrike. So we have, you know, the bird, and then we have the thorns, and then we have the cross, and then we have the sword. So yeah, a lot to mess with there. All the primary colors, even the trees have different seasons, and this is the cuckoo. Ibis, interesting that it's black because there are two different ibis. You know, different flower reflected and ibis reflected in the water as above. So interesting there. The weaver. Cormorant. Finch. Again, got a stone there associated with it. Wagtail, again a stone associated with it. Hummingbird. And there are these symbols, I don't know if that's Om or what there's, so that there's some Asian influence in these cards. Partridge. Goose, particular snow goose. Kingfisher, again a stone associated with it. Woodpecker, seagull, again a stone, heron, nightingale, crane, thrush, vulture. Look at that, isn't it interesting? It's like an Aladdin's lamp down there. Oriole, big stones here. So, you know, if you have associations with crystals, you can add them to your reading birds. And here we also have a flower, robin. Lovebird. Uh-oh. My little dog's wound up and tearing around. Pelican. Blackbird. Eagle, pheasant, parrot. Again, lots to, you know, you have a desert down here, and then you have a picture in there, and then you have day and night. Interesting. Nightjar, pigeon, peacock, and roller. So birds from all different places, which I really like about it, and even extinct birds and mythical birds. So a wonderful variety, and added to that variety are the stones and occasionally the flowers, occasional Asian symbols. So let's look at the guidebook. This person was a counselor. At the time I was doing counseling work helping people to access and clear deep emotional issues. Okay, so this deck is the work of a counselor. Inspired. I'm not going to read that. And then there's the story of the artist. So there's, in some decks the artist is kind of considered second fiddle, and not so here. Not so. Which I enjoy, because I really am, if anything, more attuned to the art in any given deck than I am to a guidebook. Alright, so you have a little image, and then you have a very basic meaning. Okay, the pigeon, although it seems ordinary, carries the message of forgiveness, and this is why it is chosen for the first card. Forgiveness transcends any residue of negativity that exists between warring opposites. It is the wholeness that comes once forgiveness is expressed that the pigeon represents. So kind of clearing, number one is you're clearing your energy with forgiveness. Now, so this is kind of the quick fix on if the card comes up in your reading. This right here, the second paragraph, and everyone has a second paragraph like this, is kind of if maybe you're encountering lots of pigeons in your environment. Maybe you've always been fascinated by pigeons or enjoyed interacting with them in parks or whatever. So if you have a personal connection to the pigeon, if the pigeon resonates with you as a symbol, then it gives this information. It does that for every bird. So it can be fun to just look through and pick out the birds that you're familiar with and just read it, and it gives you a little bit about where you're at in your life, or what maybe your personal characteristics and that kind of thing. Then it gives some longer stuff about if it comes up in a reading, and then we have an affirmation. This overlighting consciousness is just kind of divine consciousness. She calls it overlighting. One thing, I think it was this deck. Maybe not. No, I don't think it is this deck. I think it's a different deck. So never mind. Okay, so every card has, I just wanted to make sure, has these three components. Basic read for a quick look, more in-depth about the reading, and then if you just are feeling connected to that particular bird at this time, what it might mean for you. So this would be, this part, if it resonates with you or you just are feeling connected, it's not picking it out of the deck. It's a matter of you, it's not shuffling and randomly picking. It's you going to this bird and looking at it and saying, yes, I know that I'm connected to this bird right now. I don't need any random draw to tell me that it has a message for me. Then, so say you got the pigeon. You go to the back, very back. So I guess the artist is somewhat second place, second fiddle, because you have to go all the way to the back. The artist has to come in the back door, not in the front door. And again, I don't know why they didn't put them together, but what you're seeing here is the artist's notes. And so you have artist notes for the pigeon. Pigeon, I placed the pigeon on a bowl made of jade. See, I wouldn't have known that was jade if I hadn't been told that. It's just green and purple. Jade, protection, purification, harmonization, and amethyst, higher consciousness, and depicted it holding a stick of burning incense in its beak, and also with incense burning in the bowl to indicate the pigeon's function of purifying the environment. Okay, so as you see, for all of the birds, she has notes about why she chose to represent it and the other things that she put in it what they are and why she did it. Which is great, and I wish they would have put it right up front with the other stuff. There's a little bit about how to use the cards, about doing readings, to discover your bird symbol, walking through the deck, ways to use the cards, working through the deck, overlighting consciousness and the affirmations, clarity of intent, preparing for a reading. So some nice information here. Special bird spread. My goodness, choosing your own special bird. And that's an awful lot of cards. I mean, I might try it sometime, but my goodness. I'm going to look at this. This is, once you've prepared yourself, lay out all of the cards one by one. The only other deck that I know of where you do this sort of thing is Lenormand, where you lay out all of the cards. Maybe I've seen that with the tarot as well. It says you should only do this spread once. Face down to form a shape that resembles a bird's ears. So do this slowly and calmly. How many? Does it say how many are in here? 55. 55 cards. When you've done this, look at the shape for a while. Take your time, allow your gaze to wander over the cards, settle into a stillness. You will start to notice one particular card drawing your attention. There is no rush. Sit quietly until you are quite sure which one it is, then turn it over, read the text. Okay, so you're not turning all of them over, you're just laying them all out in a bird shape. Okay. Stork spread for achieving the goal. Cormorant spread for resolving a problem. Nightjar spread for dealing with fear. And then we have the artist's notes, which I just talked about. And that's it. Acknowledgments about the author. The artist is in the Netherlands and the writer is in South Africa. And I actually like that. I like having that perspective of people from different places. So there you go. Those are the bird cards, the healing power of the bird kingdom, and you will see me using them in particular in my collaborations with Carrie Ann Parkhouse every Sunday, where we are we do Hangouts, a Google Hangouts Live, and send healing energy out. That's part of the reason I got these cards. So I will definitely be using those cards, and already have actually once, for those readings in particular. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.